This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. No.
Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham. Erica's ready for the show.
DBL. This is how we do it.
No.
We do it live.
We do it.
We are very prepared.
We have to put our masks on, obviously, and then I sat down, and now it's stuck to my.
You want me to help?
Be a gentleman.
All right, here we go. By the way, only Erica has this fancy mask.
I know.
This is so bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
This is a good start. Here, hold on. Wait, I can't get out of here.
Is that the chain?
Here, hold on.
She's got a game.
All right, we're back, everybody. We are back.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Thursday, everybody. See, if we were taping this, that's what we would have done.
Exactly.
Let's get into the stories. The new season of The Masked Singer hasn't even aired, but already there's a controversial contestant. Just a heads up, this is a big spoiler alert. So, according to Deadline, Rudy Giuliani was unmasked during the taping of the first episode. Deadline did not say what character he was or what song he sang, but after the reveal, two judges, Ken Jeong and Robin Thicke, reportedly left the stage in protest. The other judges, Jenny McCarthy and Nicole Scherzinger, they stayed on the stage. Former politician Sarah Palin has also appeared on the show as the Bear after she was unmasked. All the judges stayed on the stage. Jenny McCarthy even said Sarah, quote, kick butt. All right, Tori, what do you think about Rudy going up there?
I think this is ridiculous. And if I were on
the show itself, or
first of all, I hate the show.
Oh, okay.
Second of all, I also think this is like really sad for what you do, like dying for likes. This is for ratings. It's on Fox. They can do whatever they want. But if I were a judge, I would have walked out too. There's a reputation. There's a brand to be upheld. That man is currently testifying right now in the January 6th Commission for perhaps allegedly creating a coup to take over this country. I have no reason for him to be like a butterfly on a game show. That to me is a hard line. I would have walked.
I get it, but I got some issues with that. You know, first of all, he hasn't been convicted. He has not been convicted. And we have to remember that, yes, in this case, I'm sure you're not a fan of Rudy, but there would be a place and time where somebody that you do like is under investigation for something they may or not have done. And they should be entitled to the same protections under the law. As for the judges, quickly, their job is to make a television show that gets ratings. Rudy is going to get some ratings. They need to sit their rear end down and adjudicate that, because that's what they signed a contract to do. Political aspersions aside,
they can protest if they want.
They can,
right, and they did.
Honestly, I feel like that's derelict of their job. He has not been convicted yet.
I know, but Ken Jeong has a strong Twitter presence on this, and
well,
and a very big musical background to be a judge, by the way.
So you brought up a really good point about ratings, and the truth is, had they not walked out, we likely would only have been talking about Rudy Giuliani being unveiled, just as the ridiculous figure in history that he has become. Mm-hmm. But now people are going to watch to see, did they walk out? How did they walk out? Did they have a conversation before? Did they say something to Rudy? So yes, this is all a part of the showbiz thing. But the question is, why is Rudy there? Like, why? I mean, there was a time in history where Rudy Giuliani was one of the most celebrated figures in American politics.
Yes.
And now he is putting on a costume and showing up places. The last time that we talked about Rudy Giuliani, seriously, was during the movie where he was in the hotel room about to do some nefarious things that we don't exactly know or don't know, I don't know. But this man is a joke.
I agree completely.
I think he's broke, Erica. I think this is a money grab because he needs to prepare to pay lawyers. He has not. It's famously out there that Trump did not pay him what I guess they agreed to. That's not my business. I don't care. But I think he needs money to defend himself, and I think this is a quick money grab.
Listen, in real time, you kind of both just changed my mind because I totally agree with Al, and I'm like, listen, you got to sit there. This is your job. You know what I mean? Whoever comes up there, you got to judge them. You don't show your political cards. But then Erica's like, it's about ratings. Had they not walked off the show, maybe we wouldn't be talking about it. So you guys I kind of changed my mind while I was just listening to you guys in real time.
That's what we're here for, Jeff.
Yes.
And I'm here just to. You know what? Tori's in the end. I'm out of here.
Flip the camera.
All three of Michael Jackson's kids were moving on, attended the opening night of the MJ the Musical on Broadway. Paris and her brother Prince both walked the red carpet at Tuesday's opening. Their brother BG, also known as Blanket, was pictured on his sister's Instagram story attending the event,
Where was
but
it,
did
Men's
not
Warehouse?
walk the red carpet. That looks like it's backstage.
Yeah.
The musical looks at Michael's life in the early 90s ahead of his Dangerous World Tour, and it ends a year before he was charged with sexual misconduct. A reporter for Variety recently wrote that he was kicked off the red carpet for asking about the abuse allegations because they are not part of the show. So does a reporter there have a right to ask whatever they want, or does the venue itself say, listen, we're not talking about that, get out of here?
Well, of course you have the right to ask any question that you want, but I've certainly been on the other side of conversations or interviews where it's been very much stated, we aren't going to go here, and then someone on the team decides that they're going to try to push the envelope, and then it just ends the interview. So my question is, who was the reporter asking that would have been considered someone to be an authority on this particular subject?
But at the same time, and I agree with you completely, and just to push back and be the devil's advocate, that is the question, right? That is like the big question mark over this whole thing is like, what do you think about this? It's just everyone's sort of not saying it and not questioning it.
I think it's a question for you. I think it's a question for you. I think it's a question for myself, for Erica, for Jeff. But
that's not my question.
Yeah, well, I would say that if anything happened, people do care about that. But I think the diehards, the Michael Jackson fans that'll go see an hour show about his life, and the people that have Michael Jackson tattoos on their body, they rewatch documentaries. They're done with that topic. They want to hear about his life. So I think this was something for the fans. I think the people that kind of orbit outside his life and kind of analyze it and kind of pick and choose like the music that they listen to, or if they don't have chosen not to listen, I think he's got an other set of diehard fans that have already made their minds up and they don't want to hear about that reporter's question.
Well, the question still remains, who was the target of the question? Was it his kids? Because
probably,
I mean, which
isn't fair.
It's inappropriate.
Absolutely.
So if that's something that you're right. It's like, obviously, if people are there in celebration of Michael Jackson music, then the question being posed on the red carpet to a family member or friends, we will never really know the truth is the truth. Yeah. So why was that? It's like, it seems a little trolling on the red carpet.
Because they're trying to push the envelope. Right. Just what you said.
Yeah, ratings, yeah.
My question would be, if, say a celebrity, a big celebrity, I won't even use one, but say they go to this show. Yeah. Are they kind of looked at side-eye in some way for supporting?
Because it's a statement by going. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what it is. When you go to something where it's that controversial right now with that documentary that just came out, I think it says you are making a statement on where you stand. I'm not saying
I'm going to steal from Al Jackson and say, for you.
Right.
I mean, there are very much, for as many people that are saying what you're saying, there are many people who are saying the opposite.
But you don't think it says something if you do go?
I think people have really made their decisions as to where they stand on this topic, whether it should be addressed or not be addressed. And at the end of the day, I don't know if people are really that put off or scared off in some circles to attend and say that they're attending. So this is a very polarizing issue, but was that the appropriate place to ask a question like that to someone who wasn't an authority on the issue?
Obviously no, right?
No.
And I'm just getting in there asking cast members of the show that question. So,
so how do they know?
They don't. They're like, listen, man, I'm trying to get a check over here. You know, I haven't paid my rent in 3 months.
Please don't miss
I'm a working actor.
Yeah, all right, coming up on DBL, a peek inside Gwyneth Paltrow's new home that took her 6 years to finish, Tori.
I love it.
And our interview with the funny Kunal Nayyar from The Big Bang Theory, why his new role is very different from Raj.
Closed captioning provided by...
This February, connect with Al, Tori, Erica, Jeff, and Sam.
Leveled up. I'm here for it.
Real conversations are on DBL.
I like that.
Very nice. DBL, all new, every day.
I actually attended the Oprah documentary in New York. Before the Michael Jackson doc came out, Oprah hosted this very closed group in New York. I was one of the people who got to attend. And it was a very interesting experience because there were also people who she had from the Oprah show who were, I think it was 100 black men or 100 men, all men who had stories of childhood sexual abuse. Now, I take this topic very seriously. I volunteer for an organization that is all about abused and neglected children. My point is there is a time and a place for everything to be addressed, and I don't consider that time to be asked of the cast why the allegations weren't put into a musical to really be a question that has the intentions of trying to get to the bottom of anything.
Because it wasn't.
It seems more like trolling. So I think what Tori's side is and how we've addressed this conversation, both can be very true. But at the end of it, the root comes down to what was the intention behind asking the question to get you kicked off the red carpet.
And say you're 20 years old, right? And you're just doing this show, and someone asks you that question. So if you answer whatever answer your is, then you disparage the show, right? And then they're like, what are you doing? You're part of the show. You can't answer like that. So you're in trouble either way.
I was going to say, this reminds me of when the Michael Jackson people called and tried to get you to answer a question, and Erica stepped up.
No, it wasn't Michael Jackson. That was Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Welcome back to DBL. We're getting an inside look at Gwyneth Paltrow's new digs. Her majestic Montecito digs, I should say. She's featured on the cover of the current issue of Architectural Digest and recently gave the magazine a tour inside. So we get a look at her neutral colored living room.
I wouldn't call that neutral.
With a marble ballroom.
Amazing. I mean, yes, but it's amazing.
No,
Neutral is the color palette.
Yeah, I got that. I'm just
sorry.
thanks.
That bar is pretty dope. There's a shot of her kitchen with a ladder for hard-to-reach places.
You keep the good scotch up there.
I miss my library ladder. Remember my library ladder?
You had a library?
Yes.
Man.
That's when you made it.
Everyone should have one.
And how about, I miss my spa, and even her own spa. I know, I had one. Set in the corner next to an indoor pool, she also showed off some of her favorite features. Let's take a look.
I had this swing in a different house, and the original swing we lost in a fire, but I really had a vision of having this swing there, which I lie in it all the time. The lights, I'm friendly with Lindsay Adelman, who's an amazing lighting designer, as I'm sure you know, and I said, just do whatever.
I love that. Let me just go back to the library ladder because I think everyone should have one. So when I had mine, I don't know, you wrote it,
I
Tori,
definitely know.
Because we would push down the thing. I lived in a condo that was 600 square feet and we had high ceilings. So we actually had cabinets built on the top so that we could fit more of our stuff in. So if you are living in a small space, that is a great hack, but that house is beautiful.
That's called the kitchen ladder, and the kitchen ladder people just wrote us. They're very offended. We call it the living room ladder.
Library ladder.
It's a library ladder.
No, not library, kitchen ladder.
I mean, does that seem more like a museum that she lives in? It seems like every room is almost its own kind of exhibit, which is a good thing, but I'm not hating. But was there any home in there? It was a beautiful house, but did it seem like people live in there?
Okay.
Like people?
So here's
Did
the
you
thing.
see any socks anywhere?
Okay,
Nobody
first of all,
left
it's,
their watch on the table?
Architectural Digest. They're taking pictures. But I will say this, I usually don't like GP, right? I think that house was 1,000% spectacular.
It is.
It is
of course.
spectacular. And I think that
You've
my
got a
mom
good eye, Tori.
No, but my mom and dad live in a house that has, it feels more museum-y, but that's their...
And you grew up in a house like that?
Yeah.
So how was that? When you looked at other people's houses that you went to and it was kind of more homey?
Yeah.
Did you want that?
No, I liked it.
That's such an honest answer.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the feeling. It was elevated. It was elegant. It was really detailed, and it was well thought out.
I like to live like that too.
Yeah.
Like a museum.
Did you have any grandfather clocks that opened up into a secret room, like Webster?
Yes. No.
Shout out to Mr. Papadopoulos.
There we go. Coming up by DBL, you know him from The Big Bang Theory, Kunal Nayyar. He makes fun of Tori's attempt at a British accent. He's one of us, so stick around.
State University basketball player Lucia Harris Stewart died on January 18th at age 66. As news spread of her passing, headlines appeared online claiming she was the first and only woman to ever be drafted by an NBA team. That accomplishment surprised many social media users. So let's verify. Was Lucia Harris Stewart the first and only woman to be drafted by an NBA team? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NBA's draft archive, with the 6th pick of the 7th round of the 1977 NBA draft, the New Orleans Jazz selected Lucia Harris. NBA records and Harris Stewart's bio in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame confirm she was the first and only woman to be drafted by the NBA. But Harris Stewart never played in a single NBA game. In a documentary about her life released by the New York Times in 2021, Harris Stewart says that the Jazz invited her to try out for the team, but she, quote, thought it was a publicity stunt, unquote, so she just didn't go. Nevertheless, we can verify, yes, Lucia Harris Stewart was the first and only woman to be drafted by an NBA team. With your Fast Fact, I'm Adiante Till.
We loved him as the astrophysicist who couldn't speak around girls and loved comic books, but his new role is a far cry from his role on The Big Bang Theory. Earlier, we spoke with Kunal Nayyar.
Please welcome to the show, Kunal Nayyar.
Yes, baby.
What a gorgeous background. Where are you?
Rich mahogany.
I'm in London right now on a press tour, so this is, I believe, the end of the day for me. It's almost 7:15 p.m. and we've been at it since early this morning. So if I speak nonsense or gibberish, it's just me as a robot on repeat.
That's okay.
He's exhausted.
Yeah, and he's saving the best for
That's
last.
right.
Yes, he is.
That's
It was recently revealed that your Big Bang co-star, Johnny Galecki, would stick his chewing gum to a specific part of the set. Did you leave your mark anywhere on set or take anything with you after the final show?
You know, no, I wanted to. There was a lot of things I really wanted to take, and then, we got wrapped up in the emotion of leaving, and everything was, you're not thinking straight. So I didn't take anything. I really tried to take the entire Johnny Galecki chewing gum wall and frame it in my house, but my wife just didn't think that was a good idea as art.
Well, let's talk about 12 years on a show, because that is just an amazing feat. It's the stuff that career dreams are made out of. But you recently said that the intense filming schedule made you miss a lot of personal things. So is there one event that you may regret missing the most?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably the birth of my niece. I think that's the hardest thing, is because my family lives in India and I live in LA. And as you guys know, because you guys work so hard, that's the hardest thing, is you miss people's births, you miss people's weddings. Like, I was in India recently after the show ended, celebrated my friend's 40th birthday with a lot of tequila and enjoyment. And I missed out a lot of events like that.
I turned 40 and nothing happened, and I'm sad too.
Okay.
Well, if I was your friend, I would have come to your birthday.
You just made her whole year.
He's a friend. You just got a #1 fan right now. All right. All right, Kunal, Sheldon's character has a spin-off show. If your character Raj were to get a spin-off, what would you want his storyline to be?
Ever since I was a little boy, my father wanted me to be a gynecologist like him. How can I be a gynecologist? I can barely look a woman in the eye.
I've always said, if we, Jim, his character's name was Sheldon and his spin-off show is Young Sheldon. I always thought mine would be called Old Raj. I think that would just be an interesting juxtaposition. No one would probably watch it, but I think just for my own humor, it would be fun to be called, Old Raj.
If you need help having no one watch it, you could put Tori on it, too.
Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah, hey, I'm making a lot of friends on this show, so we'll have at least 4 viewers.
Oh man, and I'm one, right? Okay. So people who know, thank you. People who know you for your Big Bang role, my whole family's obsessed with you, but they might be a little thrown off by your British accent on your new thriller, Suspicion. How did you perfect that accent?
Oh boy. Sorry.
Oh boy. I literally can't believe you just did that, but it's hilarious.
That story.
Let's go down the reel.
To be honest, I would just get into taxi cabs and I would drive around with sort of, they call them black cabs here.
Yeah.
Just jump into taxi cab drivers and practice with the taxi cab drivers, and that's how I really perfected the accent. Perfected is a strong word. How I got better at the accent.
That's smart. Very smart.
Great.
So
Now Tori's going to go try and do that.
What do you mean, Samantha, what do you mean?
Lord. Okay, so let's talk about Suspicion.
Yes.
Because you are one of a group of people suspected of kidnapping Uma Thurman's son. What was it like starring alongside the Oscar-nominated actress?
I mean, she's obviously a cinematic icon, and to just have your name on the same call sheet as hers is a great honor in itself. But all the other actors in this show as well, that play such incredible characters. You don't know. It's the type of show, if you don't like suspense, it's going to be very difficult for you because you don't know who's done it until the last few minutes of the 8th episode.
Yes.
And each episode comes out every week. So if you love that genre, this is just strap in. It's going to be the most incredible show, in my opinion, that you've watched. And it touches a lot on current day themes like the use of social media and how no one is responsible for it anymore and how it can change your life overnight.
Ooh, I can't wait. I am so excited. The first 2 episodes of Suspicion start streaming on Apple TV Plus this Friday, February 4th, with all new episodes premiering weekly. Kunal, thank you so much for putting up with us.
Go get yourself a pint. You deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get over accent. Oh, God.
Have a good day.
We'll be right back.
Hi, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Omicron is coming off its peak in the U.S., but it continues to spread, and the Delta variant can still be detected too. So people want to know if they can be infected with both variants at the same time. Let's verify. Our sources, cardiologist Dr. Pyle Coley, family physician Dr. Carla Robinson, a study from Molecular Microbiology Laboratory at Feville University in Brazil, and the textbook Medical Microbiology. We took this question to Dr. Carla Robinson and Dr. Pyle Coley, and both agree you can be infected with both strains.
It rarely happens, but scientifically it is possible, and there have been few case reports of multiple strains in one individual at the same time.
Although it is incredibly rare, you can get both Delta and Omicron infection at the same time.
In fact, this study by the Molecular Microbiology Laboratory shows evidence of co-infections of multiple variants of the virus that causes COVID-19.
So the way these viruses mutate, they are essentially almost different viruses. And so it is possible to, in fact, become infected with multiple strains at the same time.
This is true for other viruses as well. The medical microbiology textbook says one way viruses can mutate is when 2 different strains co-infect the same host cell.
It's sort of like getting influenza A and influenza B together. So 2 different strains of the same virus can certainly co-infect the same host.
Both Dr. Robinson and Dr. Coley say more research needs to be done on the question of whether a co-infection creates more severe symptoms.
If you've got 2 different viral strains at the same time, you can imagine that may lead to more immune activation, that may lead to more copies of the virus, and therefore may actually lead to more collateral damage to your body, its organs, and to more severe symptoms.
So we can verify that yes, you can be infected with both the Delta and Omicron variants at the same time.
There are 6 alpine skiing disciplines at the Beijing Games. Here's how to tell the difference. Slalom is the shortest course and has the most turns. Skiers navigate from one gate to the next, incurring penalties for cutting a turn too close or missing a gate. Giant slalom is a bigger slalom course. It contains fewer gates, but the turns are wider and smoother. Downhill is all about speed. There are no gates to maneuver. Super G means super giant slalom. It combines the speed of downhill with the technical turning of giant slalom. Alpine combined consists of 1 downhill run and 1 slalom run. The mixed team competition involves skiers going side by side against another team down identical slalom courses. There are 4 runs per round. It's an elimination tournament format. The team that wins each round advances until the gold medal is decided.
It's that time of week again. Check out what our friends from Morning Save have for us this time.
All right, what do you have for us today, Steph?
Hey, Tori, and hi, DBL Nation. I have got some wonderful products and even better deals just for you. First up, we've got Body Beautiful Shapewear. So this deal includes 1 shapewear, available in 4 different styles. Normally, they're $39 to $69, depending on the piece. But we've got 1 piece for only $19, which saves everyone at home 72%.
A little sexy, huh?
I like
Looking
it.
good, mannequin.
Now, Tori, we've got Soulmate's 18 karat gold filled Swarovski necklace and bracelet set filled with literally dozens of elegant Swarovski crystals.
Wow.
And freshwater pearls.
Oh, wow.
Normally, they're $146.
Whoa.
But we've got them for only $39, saving up to 73%.
Morning Save makes me so happy.
Yes. And Tori, we've got the iLife Easine G50 cordless vacuum cleaner.
Whoa.
1 vacuum, 2 attachment accessories, and 1 wall mount with a charging station. So normally, this is as much as $185, but we've got it for $79.
Oh, yeah.
I know it saves everyone at home 57%.
That's so much better than the...
And last, we've got Vanity Planet Outlines Ice Roller and Serum Booster Duo. So the Serum Booster resets and refreshes your skin. And now the Ice Roller is going to reduce swelling and soothe your redness, irritation, and minimize pores. So normally they're as much as $40, but right now they're $19, which saves up to 53%.
I'm so puffy and I wish I had a thingy. That's a thingy under $20. Get the thingy. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com right on your smartphone. Couldn't be easier. Thank you so much, Steph.
Tori, sleep easy. You earned your paycheck this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place.